Good afternoon, everyone. On this Saturday afternoon, it is episode 28. Chris and I are here to promote a little bit and explain a little bit on purpose of life, communication, a bit of everything, I guess.
Everything to do with you going somewhere in
Yeah,
life.
community as well.
Community is the majorest thing.
Yeah. So we're in my office today because we got a lot going on today. We got Reiki level 2 going on, given by Mario. Next week we have level 1. So if anyone's interested, I believe I had posted it was on the 27th, but Mario had to switch it, and it is on the Sunday. So those that are interested, Reiki level 1, it'll probably be the last one till the end of the year. Good to help yourselves, good to help anyone else, just to reconnect and just have unconditional love as much as possible. And really, the vibes are different when you get initiated and when you actually have your level 1. You learn about a whole bunch of symbols and why the chakras are important and the energies and whatnot. But it has everything to do with why or how you can be a better person as a whole and understand where the emotions come from. So it's just a better understanding of yourself and everybody else.
If I can add on.
Go ahead.
Being a Reiki person with my cousin, it really balances out those frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the purpose of it. You know, every human being has about 6 frequencies within them, and then the 7th one is up there.
We actually have 13, by the way.
There's the other ones as well. But
Yeah, let me get out my skull at the same time.
that's
as
a good
we
idea.
talk.
That's a good idea.
13 skulls in the world.
And the purpose of Reiki is the same thing that meditation is supposed to give you. And so once you learn Reiki, meditation becomes actually easier to do.
Yep, 100%.
So
Anything in general actually becomes easier to do. And I've actually spoke about this, I think it was yesterday with someone, that it is crazy how I have retained so much knowledge. I think it was with your cousin the other day. I have retained. Oh, it was with you and Alessandra.
that was me, yeah.
I keep retaining information so much easier lately. Like just by doing my level 2, I learned it within I pretty much had it down packed within a half hour. And there's a lot more symbols or a lot more explanations than level 1, right? Obviously it's level 2. But when you're connected with your energies, when you're connected to the source, when you're connected in general, basically who you're supposed to be, even though there's stressors going around, for me example, retaining information was just so much easier. And it's important for me as well because I'm always learning and I'm always trying to retain as much as I can to apply to my clients and to apply to everybody's everyday life, right? So yeah, that's basically that. And then what else we got going on is a birthday party today. So that's why we're in here, so there's not as much noise and traffic going back and forth in the bistro. It's much more quiet. And this is where we're going to promote also the new community that we're going to try and bring to Kabbalis. So Chris is going to elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah, so it's going to be considered Kabbalis Community Talks. And I'll be facilitating it. And it's really the purpose of letting everyone know there's a place to come talk. Because we all have questions. And it's great to watch videos on YouTube, but sometimes we have those questions we need to ask people. And I'm willing to be that person to help you find those answers. Because that's another thing about great questions. It's to find more questions. And that's where real answers are from. Real answers are from within the question. Because the more you go in there, and that's where it leads to purpose, you feel more confident with yourself. It's great to have faith, and faith is to bring you to those questions. So we're going to be planning to have that on a certain day, for sure a weekend, so that everyone can pass by and feel like they're part of a group.
Even a weeknight maybe.
And even a weeknight.
It's gonna be, sometimes people don't want to come on a weekday, on a
That's
weekend.
true.
They want to
That's
just
true.
do it on a weekday.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna try and
We'll put out 2 dates.
yeah,
and
exactly.
See
See which
brings
one
upon
fills out
people.
more. But the whole point is, Chris is saying that we're there to answer your questions. We might not know all the answers to everything. But this is where not only will you guys learn as a community, but we're gonna learn from you guys as well, and that's the whole purpose of this as well, because we might be experts in our fields, but certain things that we may not touch on, we could learn from our own clients and the people around us as well. So it's basically taking things in different perspectives. And I see it as how Chris likes to teach as well, is to always ask the questions and see why and dig a little deeper. So that's pretty much his forte, and I agree with it 100%, because we always should try and dig a little deeper and not just scratch the surface of something is what it is.
So open heart, open mind, you'll find many answers and you'll find many questions. That's the purpose of the community meeting, because it's to actually have a place where everyone is welcome. No matter your background, no matter what you've gone through, you deserve to have a place. And Anthony and I really believe in that, and we want to facilitate that for others.
Yeah, and we have everybody believes in that as well, that are part of the podcast, which is why we do this as well. But I believe that there's not just one fix all, but we do have all the answers within us as well.
Yeah.
If we actually quiet our mind and we actually focus, and if we see the signs, then the answers are there as long as we listen to our intuition.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how we could come about to a better, not just questioning and reasoning, but understanding as well. Like Chris said, having an open heart and open mind, you're open to the possibilities of everything and anything, that there's infinite possibilities of a why or how. 1 + 1 is 2, but I might get to 2 different than how Chris is going to get to 2. So that's where we all gel together and make it, a better community and unity as well.
Yeah. So on the topic of today is purpose. And I think the majorest thing to find purpose is not to have doubt.
Yep.
That's not easy.
Or fear.
Or fear. I like to say that now, because of COVID and everything that's gone on, we live in a trauma-based world. And that's major, because trauma is something you personally experience yourself. To believe that your trauma is better than someone else's or worse than somebody else's is to judge. But to be open-minded and open-hearted is to realize what you went through is what your journey says for you. And what someone else goes through is their journey. And again, that's why we want to do this community thing, because everyone should know they deserve support. No matter what it is that someone has gone through. Everyone in the world should have a place where they feel accepted and not judged. And so to find purpose, you need to have that. We're social beings, right? So when we're socially with somebody who doesn't make us feel judged, there's no doubt, there's no fear. And that's the purpose. So,
I think a lot of people lost their purpose as well because of everything that's going on, and because we've been so demoralized, and it's like, oh, whatever, another day, And I think that's where we have to take a step back and remind ourselves what we love, what made us happy, and what our purpose actually used to be. Then we have to just have a drive to get back to it, I think. Why is because if you have no purpose, then there's no drive in life, and it doesn't make you happy. And there's no joy when you don't accomplish something, right? So that's something to take note of as well.
And I'm going to share something. I used to work at a place where I love, but stuff happened and I had to choose a new place to go work. Now, the thing is, what I'm doing is my purpose, because I found purpose in doing so. But the doubt did come in, and fearing that, is this what I really want to do anymore? And I had to go through that. But because I found myself again, I found my Zen, I realized it is my purpose. It is to work with children and to help them know that there's someone who cares about them. And like I've said before in other podcasts, now I realize inner children need help. And that's why we're here. And that's why, I reached out to Ant and I said, I want to do that. I want to be helping at Kabbalist in the way of helping people with their inner child. Because as much as we're adults, our inner child is the true self, and it's the true
I'm
inside.
witness to that as well. I've matured at a young age that I suppressed my inner child as well, and I thought I was having fun, but doing the work, doing the healthy work where I'm reducing the energies, I'm bringing myself back to my own core. you realize that there's a lot of baggage that you don't even realize yourself.
Oh, yes.
And then you start revealing who the inner child actually is, and then you start having joy again. And we lose that inner child because of stress, because of
Trauma.
everything that's going on. Yeah, everything that we see and witness, betrayal, mistrust, disloyalty, lies, everything we see in the world, on our phones 24/7, being stimulated negatively, stress, trauma, the list goes on. But that's because we never went back to see what the actual playful being we're supposed to be and just enjoy and love life.
Yep.
There's a reason why kids, when they're before the age of 7, that's where most of their learning curves are. But there's a reason why they just have unconditional love to everything they touch, and they're just so pure, and it makes us really see things differently as we grow older, how our minds are corrupted and we start judging even ourselves.
And it's funny you just said the word corrupted, because there's this thing called twisted thoughts. And I really believe that twisted thoughts is what causes us doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great about twisted thoughts is that there's 10 major ones, and the moment you learn them, you can conquer them. And you can come to realize what life is actually all about. I'll just tell you this one. There's an emotional reasoning one. And any therapist or any psychologist can tell you that the emotional reasoning is what really leads to a lot of problems. Because let's be honest, there's a reason why we need to be logical in problems. Because if we look at it emotionally, you're going to get stuck. You're going to sink into a doubt. You're going to sink into a fear. You might believe you're doing the right thing because of your emotions. But see, that's where emotions and, there's the word you said again, following your
Purpose? I don't even remember.
intent or like, no.
Intuition?
Intuition, right? Intuition is clear. Emotion causes a little bit of a storm in there. And so once that clears, you know where you're walking, because everyone here is important.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there are some people out there who think that they're the one to save the world. And it's like, whoa, you're only here to save yourself. And once everyone understands they're here to save themselves, you can live a very peaceful life.
100%.
And that's what our goal is. And this podcast specifically is about purpose. Because the moment you find your purpose, you're at peace.
A lot of people don't find their purpose till later in life as well, and that's fine. I was fortunate enough by the age of 19 entering the field that I am today, and when I put my foot into the field, when I stepped foot into the field, it was a no-brainer. This is where I was meant to be, because infinite knowledge in this field, and I'm someone that the minute I started as a personal trainer, well, I'm not just going to be a personal trainer. I need to be something more, because I don't want to have just the minimum to give to my clients. I want to be able to give as much as I can and provide them the best service as I can. So that leads me to learn a lot more and to give a lot more as well. And my purpose is to make my clients be as educated and healthy as possible. That's my purpose. And my purpose is also to be a leader and to educate as much as possible. I mean, and I've learned that over the years. Before I was a trainer, I never thought of actually teaching someone or being close to someone and explaining things and being up their butts pretty much to say things. But I was someone that tell me something and I'll do it because it was just so much easier. And I had my mind set on hockey instead. But then when you start realizing, well, okay, there's no more hockey, there's no more sports, what do I actually like to do? Growing up, I liked being, I saw myself as a physio or as an architect, and then when training came about, I told myself, you know what? I could see myself helping people because I have to be the image first. So being a personal trainer, then I have to make sure I'm healthy and I'm walking the talk at the same time, and I'm not just shitting out bullshit, pretty much. Well, a lot of people do, but anyways. And for me, it's perfect. I get to live my life healthy and provide the example that I'm supposed to. And that's just over the last 11 years where I've grown as an individual, and I've seen my life purpose. Again, but you know, a lot of people are gonna live the life experience and still not know what their purpose is, maybe until the age of 60 years old sometimes, where they change careers so many times, and then finally at 60 years old, before they think they're going to retire, they find what they love to do and they start actually living their passion for a few more years.
And the truth is, midlife crises, it's not midlife crisis anymore. They happen even younger. And the reason for that is because you've come to these realizations. You've come to certain things and you're questioning. And that's what we want to do here. We want to give everybody that chance to say, you may feel lost, but there's light. Let us help you. With my life coaching, I'm going to help like that. The Wheel of Life is something really great. You can check it out, Google it. And I want to help on all those, because the moment the wheel goes well, you roll properly. But imagine if you have a wheel that has broken pieces. You're going to stop, and someone you have to push it, and that's what helping is. Helping someone find that role so it becomes easier. And so through everything that I've learned, I want to give these skills to everybody, because the moment you have skills, you have purpose. The moment you have something to offer everybody, you got purpose. And sometimes we all feel, oh, but I have nothing to give. You might actually have more than you think. You just have to find it, start making yourself be around people who encourage it, because that's a major thing too. We all come from homes where, oh, that's not good enough. What is that? That's a lie. I can talk about my cousin who loved buying video games and then he resold them. At first, everyone was telling him, I'm not going to do anything. But I supported him. I brought him to conventions because he didn't have a car. I helped him, and now look, he's very successful doing it. Well, and he finds purpose in it.
Don't forget one thing. You know, the saying goes that you're only as smart as the 5 people around you. Your IQ equals the 5 people around you. So if people are bringing you down, you're going to be dragged down with them, and you could only lift so much as you can. Whereas if you have 3, 4, 5 people around you that are always motivated and driven to achieve things, you're more likely to achieve as well. So if you're around people that are just always going to discourage you, chances are you're going to be a failure in life. And that's not a bad thing either, because you need to learn. Being a failure doesn't mean, you know, you have to quit life. No, being a failure means learning from the past, learning so that you could grow, so that you could find yourself and find your actual purpose. So that's something to take note of as well.
And when you join the community, you'll be a part of people who will support you.
Yeah.
And there's many opportunities here at Kabbalahs.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's opportunities to do something with yourself and contribute, because that's what we're here for. Think of it this way. I love always thinking about the past. We used to live on farms, we used to help cattle, and we used to eat, and on Sundays we partied. Those are good days. Yeah. Let's have those days again. Yeah. Just because we're in the city doesn't mean we can't contribute the same way. It's just that now we're not in control of an institution, and we're free to do what we got to do. And this is a great place. I'm so happy that Anthony did what he did. I'm happy you found your purpose, you followed it, and I'm grateful to be here and help you out with it. And now we can help other people find their purpose.
So we're going to try and, I mean, Chris obviously is going to lead it, but we're going to try and talk about as much as possible. But we also want to help in the sense that since we're on the topic of purpose, if you need the tools to help you find your purpose, I mean, we're not going to tell you what your purpose is, because you got to find it yourself. But if you're feeling lost, we'll give you the tools to get there, and we'll make you dig deep. You know, I had a client this morning. I asked her how she felt, and she goes, oh, I feel good. Okay, but define good. Oh, but okay, this. Yeah, but then I felt this. And I'm like, okay, but dig a little deeper. What do you feel? And she literally told me, boy, you're making me dig deep. That's the whole point. Because we don't dig deep enough to the root of the core to actually know what we're worth, first off, and what our purpose is. So we could say we like something, but do we actually really like that something? So this is where, you know, Chris with his skills, we're going to be able to dig a little deeper and see what we could bring out of you. Maybe it's not going to take one session. Maybe it's going to take 3 months. Who knows?
Everybody's part of the community. You can come as many times as you want,
Yeah.
and we'll talk.
Yeah. There's no time frame, you know, and we'll go back to how time is a constructed feature
Ooh.
of life.
I'm so happy you brought that up. There's a lady on YouTube that did a TikTok, and she said how the Dark Ages never existed. So there's like 300 years that has no accountability in history.
Really?
So
that's what
imagine,
you sent us? I
yeah.
didn't
So
see it.
imagine if we're actually in the 1700s. Like, let's be fully honest. Do we really know what day it is?
No.
Here's some more fun. This is really fun. I like to blow people's minds. If you Google right now the Roman calendar of 10 months, you will actually find something there. Did you know that they only changed it to 12 months later? So how do we really know how many days there has been, right? And if you want to have a lot of more fun with the proof of this, just look at our 12 months. Look at this. September is sete, seven. But it's actually which month?
9.
Exactly. Then you find out that otto is October. Otto. Then we have November, 9. Dich, 10, December. Guess which 2 months were added? July and August for Julius Caesar and Agosto. So, wow! What is time? It's a lie!
Yeah, we could go deep into that and we could look at a whole bunch of stuff, but those are some of the things and topics that we could
Explore together.
explore, but just bring it at a different perception, right? So,
And perception is my favoriteest
Yeah.
word.
favoritist word. We're just made up a word.
Favoriteest word.
We just made up
I
a
will
word.
actually put perception right here one day.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The moment you change your mindset is the time you change your perception.
Yep.
And the moment you got that, you will find your purpose.
It's the same way as perception of fear. Now, what is fear? Fear can be seen in two ways. It could be face everything and run, or face everything and rise. Or what actually fear can be thought of. Fear can actually be thought of is facts. Well,
Like you
no,
were
wait.
saying.
Facts. Oh my God! I just slipped. FAC. Facts, evidence,
Oh.
factual evidence that don't appear real.
Oh, look at that. That's really good. We're going to write that down somewhere.
It's on my. I posted it last night on my personal blog, my personal story, by the way. So if you want to see, I saved it. You can go check it out. But I don't know why I'm at a blank. But it's basically factual evidence that appear real.
And that's what real logic is all about, right? We live in an age where science teaches us to find something and make sense of it. And it's crazy how we're having issues today in the world where there's not about any facts. And that's why trusting yourself is the most important thing in life.
Your intuition's always right.
And that's what we're really giving you here.
Yeah.
Purpose in the way that you will find trust within yourself.
Ask the questions why and how. Always. That's how you just keep digging deeper.
And because we want to keep this short, we're going to leave you with that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of you who joined us. We really appreciate it.
Questions? No.
We don't see any questions, but we see people, and we're super
cool.
grateful for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
I
listening.
think this was the most we've had. That's actually
We're
pretty cool.
very, very happy. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So enjoy Saturday. We've still got some light out the next couple of weekends before Christmas. Oh my God. We have 5 weekends till Christmas.
Wow. Enjoy your
Time
Sundays.
flies. Whatever
Oh.
time is, flew by really
I
fast.
try to find the wings sometimes
Oh,
so we
man.
can pull it off, but it doesn't happen.
That's crazy. Actually, I just want to leave off that I pulled out the skull, and everybody's probably like, "What the fuck is a skull?
Why do you keep it in your
Why do you keep
pockets?
it in your pocket? Why do you have it on your chest?" So basically, very brief. There are 13 skulls, and before that, skulls are not actually a bad symbol. We were told and made us believe that skulls were bad for us, but in essence, they're actually very symbolic. And if you look in Mexico, they have the Day of the Dead, and they
Yes,
have
they
a bunch
do.
of skulls, right? So before that, there was 13 main skulls that connected pretty much all of the powerful I'll say channeling people, I guess, the best way I could say, people that are very in tune with energies and stuff. But the whole base was that once we put these 13 skulls together, it just changed the whole vibration and energies of the world. Now notice I'm saying 13. Everybody's afraid of the number 13. 13 is a very powerful and transformative, that's it. Transformative number for a lot of people. If I'm correct, there was only 7 or 8 that they were able to find. So some of these skulls are still exist. But basically, when we have a skull like this, it has to be the purest of crystals as possible, not glass, but the very purest of crystal. There's very small places that actually do this. What it is you're basically meditating and setting your intention into the crystal. You're basically connecting with all the other crystals of the world. I can tell you one thing, it changed a whole realm of things that I could see. But that's just the essence. Yeah, okay. That's just the essence of what I'm going to say in brief. Just a little explanation of what the skulls are, but it's very powerful and it could do a lot of magical things.
And that's something we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we really hope to see you at the community. Thank you so much for joining us.
Enjoy your Saturday and have a good Sunday.